talking about cooking Peking duck in just a moment, but not before we talk about your new selection of poetry that is now available on Amazon. Well done, Owen. And this is great to see this wonderful outburst of creativity on so many fronts, in the kitchen and on paper. Tell us about your new collection of poetry.
Well, I've been actually writing since I was I've been writing since I was 17. Literally just doodling things on pieces of paper, waking up in the middle of the night and writing things out off the top of my head. Maybe just sat there at an event or wherever, and just people watching. And I call myself an observer of life. And I have over a number of years is wrote things down. I've written song lyrics before. The first thing I ever wrote when I was 17 was kind of based on a rap, when rap music was rap music.
You old fart. When rap music.
And then just recently, and going back to the subject of the show today, I think it's since me moving north of Portugal and the wide open spaces, being close to nature, and being in Portugal and meeting some beautiful friends that has inspired me to write a lot more, and with a bit of encouragement from one or two friends back in the UK and here, they said, why don't you get it published? So I just went ahead and had a look around, couldn't find anything published good enough. And somebody said to me, why don't you go to Amazon Kindle? You can do it all yourself, set it all up. So that's exactly what I did. It's just an ebook at the moment. As soon as I've come off today, I've got to find one of my photographs for a front cover for the paperback, which I'm trying to get out by the end of next week.
Fantastic. Okay, so is it going to be? I mean, people love your voice because that's another expression of your creativity.
The Man of Friday,
and we're looking forward to the remix of that next Friday, of course, when Filomena joins us with Genuino Madruga, the solo round-the-world sailor twice over, who lives in Azores. So looking forward to that remix. Are you going to be reading your poems as well and releasing them as an audiobook?
I think I should.
I think you should.
What I'd like is actually not just for me to read them, but to have, because I think you've got a brilliant voiceover voice. I think you should do a couple for me as well. So maybe we get a few people together and do them individually and record it that way. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do the audio book in conjunction with GMP and get the GuMPers to do a poem each.
Sounds great, and some of which could be recorded at the T-Duck Studios in Lisbon.
Absolutely.
As well. That sounds great. What a lovely idea. Okay, so here it is. The link to it is in the chat there. This is My Thoughts Combined, the English edition on Kindle, as you say. And what am I seeing here? Can you get a sample of it free then? And then you
can on your device. Yeah, you can. I think what I had was just a short piece from one of the poems that I wrote that's in there. Yeah. I think if you have Kindle Unlimited, well, I think if I get Kindle Unlimited, I can surely get the whole book. I don't know how that works for everybody else because I'm not making money from that. But I'm sure that you get a small sample if you click the link that's there on the page.
Okay, and is that one of your photographs too?
That's the one, that was taken at a beautiful sunset last weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Now I can't click too much on this because last time I did that, it revealed all of my credit card details when I was.
Oh, don't be doing that.
Look at some. It's like, live stream on my credit card details on Amazon when I was having a look around. But there it is, and the link is in the chat now. And it begs the question, is being a migrant, is moving away from your original home a boost to your creativity? Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, I mean, there's been mitigating circumstances for me having my creativity suppressed, as you know.
Right.
That. But since moving north, feeling more at home in Portugal, has brought that out of me. And because there's I'd say about 5 or 6 poems that are in the book are things. Thank you, somebody God, Filomena. You see, I'm looking at the comments here, and it's completely.
It's thrown you, isn't it? Shall I stop it for a minute?
I'm getting really, really embarrassed here. Thank you, Filomena. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
About whether moving away and being a foreigner.
Yeah, I mean,
travel broadens the mind. Does it boost creativity?
it really does. And I've come out of quite a long tunnel just recently, and my creative juices are flowing. I mean, if I can, I'd like to quote the first thing I ever wrote when I was 17.
Please do.
Which kind of inspires me, and I kind of use it as a mantra. So it goes like this. There is more I want to seek out, plus I want to find. I don't want to leave my mind without a shred of a doubt. I want to travel the world and see our globe, just to see the things that we've all been told that exists and is living today, and just how we're living it, okay? To make our mind up and not to be confused. We're all sick of seeing the world being misused and abused, because if we're going to survive, we're going to have to take care of those who keep you alive. If immaterial things keep you going, well, obviously it's not showing if you're lying in bed or you're going to work. You never know what might lurk around the corner, or another day that's going to change your life in a different way. So get off your butt and out of that rut and do something positive. Use your initiative, creative energies, flowing, growing, ready in time, and they'll be showing all the qualities that you have inside that all of a sudden just came alive. So if there's more you want to see, you have to make your dream a reality.
Yes, so get off your butts. Get off your butts and get out there and grab it. So yeah, I think it's a big yes, isn't it? Thank you for that, Owen. It is a big yes, and it, like, you know, travel broadens the mind, boosts your creativity. Has there been anything particular about Portugal that has, you know, a Portuguese flavour to your newfound creativity? I'm calling you a Renaissance man because you're cooking. You know, I think that's Portuguese inspired. You know, you've been writing poetry all your life, and certainly there's a whole Portuguese episode or chapter of that as well. You know, you're a creative guy. You're doing the jingles for us as well. You can't help but express yourself. Is there what's particularly Portuguese about that, would you say?
Well, I do have a number of Portuguese inspired poems that I've wrote, but to be honest, I've done it a number of occasions. I've been just sat outside having a cigarette and just having a look around at the environment, and something will just jump into my head about where I am. Yeah. So obviously, I put pen to paper, but when you speak to a number of people that arrive in the country and you ask them what brought you here, they will all, well, 9 times out of 10, they will always say to me, it has this. Portugal has this. But I mean, we spoke about it. You can't actually explain what this is, but it's had a profound effect on me moving here. You know, regardless to what's going on in the UK or anywhere else in the world. Because there was no intention of moving to Portugal originally when I wanted to leave the UK, but Portugal has that, and I suppose I feel more at home here. No disrespect to the UK, but I do. And the environment, the people, everything, you know, everything about Portugal says, yes, this is where you should be. Thank you, Dougie.
Yeah, look, and Geraldo Nort adding to that as well. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? You know, my Portugal resident piece that I just submitted yesterday is a love letter to Portugal.
Yeah.
So for many of us, it is an unending source of inspiration. And I think it is quite good, isn't it, to give yourself a little bit of a slap around the head by moving country. I mean, it certainly does that, doesn't it, in all sorts of ways. And there are many upsides and positives about that, as well as, you know, some of the things that take you by surprise as well. Now, I ended my love letter to Portugal with a poem. You're writing poetry. Pete Wilton Davies talked about writing a poem, which translated, it was difficult, but he translated well and he got it to rhyme in both Portuguese and English. And I found out yesterday that the Doc also had written a poem. I want to ask you, you know, for those people who feel like they've got poetry in them or creative writing, how do you get started? Because I think we all do, don't we?
I mean,
how do you get started? How do you let that come out?
Well, I don't know, because, you know, I've been the same. I've been writing songs as well. My best friend of 30 plus years that I was in a band with as well, I used to write a lot of songs. So I think it's come from that as well. And I get inspired by just the slightest thing. A cat walking on a wall, whatever.
Yeah.
I can it just flows. I was explaining to my friend in the US, Anne Marie, the other day, because she was asking, where does it come from? And I said, I can't explain it. It just happens, and I just have the urge to write it down. Yeah. Sometimes I'll write 3 or 4 lines down, and like I noticed the other day, leave them for a good 10 years before I go back to them. But it's always there. There's always that flow that's there. Once I have a subject or once I hear something, it's stuck, and I can't get rid of it until I've written it down and yes. work on it.
Good. Okay. So for you, it's not like you get creative block. You get blocked if you're not creative.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, that's a great condition to be. Now, here's the docs. He's published. This was in response to the COVID inquiry. Would you believe? Isn't it incredible where inspiration can come from?
Now you see, I'm on the same website as well. I'm on Old Poetry as well.
What is Old Poetry? So you can submit.
It's where you can go on and just submit your poems, and they produce them. They put them on free, and you get comments from other poets as well. So I've got work on there as well. I've got one on there at the moment, and because obviously I'm doing the book, I'm not prepared to put any more on.
Yeah, fair enough. The inquiry's depiction of culpable dereliction of a rapid descent by a government into threats of death and 4-letter words from now inconsequential, forgive me, mother, turds, of greed trumping need, inaction, proaction, despair, care. The people's experience of the response to COVID has many of us despairing, hurt, livid. This betrayal demands a solution. And as you might expect from the doc, when will we take that step? And in capital letters, revolution.
Revolution.
That's the docs there. So, I mean, the encouragement is there for everyone, isn't it? I'm putting the link to
absolutely
poetry there. A lot of people feeling that way about the COVID inquiry. I think those and others around the world for various reasons about how people feel let down by their governments. That might be a source of inspiration, but there are many, including a cat walking along a wall, as you said, Owen. So just how about that? Take Owen's words of getting off your butt and sticking pen to paper. And of course, it's really great, the comments that have come from your reading there, or not reading, but your recital. I love that 17-year-old poem, Owen, and wonderful, says Yalden. Love the image of your 17-year-old self writing that and still inspiring your current self. It's like a note to yourself, isn't it?
It is. I use it as a mantra. I really do.
Yep. And it fits with Genuino's Madruga as well, who got off his butt, sailed around the world twice as well. So we're looking forward to chatting with you, Philomena, next Friday, and Senor Madruga. Poetry for me is a stream of consciousness, usually inspired by emotion, awe, angst, joy, despair. So James, a poetry writer as well, look, so not much poetry. I'm quite content. Yes, fair enough. You can tell what mood he's in if he's in there scratching away on his jotter pad with an outpouring of a flow of consciousness there. Let's get to the food, because we've only got 12 minutes left.
Are you going to show the video, Carl?
Shall I run the VT first? Is that the thing to do?
It'll give me a chance to nip to the loo.
Yes, okay. Off you go, Owen, and we'll see you after this.